The headlines of this hour on VTV News. Top Vietnamese leader meets with US President. And later on, Binh Duong province unveils strategic investment plan. In our world news, Middle East at risk of a full-scale war.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time and you're tuning in to 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Dilin Lei with the latest updates. Now, General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee and State President Tô Lâm had a meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden on September the 25th as part of his working trip. At the event, the Vietnamese leader expressed sincere gratitude to the U.S. President for his heartfelt condolence message on the passing of Party Chief Nguyễn Phú Trọng and thanked the U.S. government for its support for Vietnam's Typhoon Yagi's relief efforts. He affirmed the special features of the Vietnam-U.S. relations with a turn from foes to partners, comprehensive partners, and now the highest level of comprehensive strategic partners, stressing that the relationship is entering a new chapter of history. President Biden, for his part, extended condolences to Vietnam over the damage caused by Typhoon Yagi, while affirming that the U.S. government stands ready to support Vietnam during its recovery process. Regarding regional and international issues of mutual concerns, the two leaders concurred to step up cooperation at regional and international forums, comprising the ASEAN Framework, Mekong-U.S. Partnership, and the UN. U.S. President Joe Biden affirmed that the U.S. commits to enhancing peace, stability, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region, respecting the central role of ASEAN and supporting Vietnam's increasingly important role in the region and the world. Also on the same day, Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm received Senator Chris Coons. The top Vietnamese leader showed his assessment of the special relationship between Vietnam and the U.S., considering it a model of efforts to heal and build post-war relations. Prior to the 30th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between the two countries in 2025, he hopes the two sides will continue to proactively and effectively implement the joint statement on upgrading the Vietnam-U.S. relationship in 2023. This comes as the U.S. continues to exchange and coordinate to soon recognize Vietnam's market economy status. Senator Coons affirmed that the U.S. considers Vietnam a leading partner in the region. He also expressed his joy at the upgrading of relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership and the substantial progress made in implementing this relationship framework, including previously enhancing exchanges and meetings between the legislative bodies of the two countries. On September the 25th, Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm hosted meetings with leaders from several major U.S. corporations in the energy, technology, satellite, and aerospace sectors. More on the meetings in the following.
In a meeting with the Senior Vice President of AES Energy, Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm reaffirmed Vietnam's commitment to encouraging foreign investment, particularly in clean energy projects. He emphasized Vietnam's dedication to creating favorable conditions for U.S. investors to operate effectively and express support to balance bilateral trade by importing more AES products.
During discussions with the Senior Vice President of SpaceX, Party General Secretary and State President Tô Lâm thanked the company for their assistance regarding addressing Typhoon Yagi aftermath. He appreciated SpaceX investment proposals and noted that the Vietnamese government is currently reviewing them. He also encouraged SpaceX to coordinate closely with relevant agencies and local partners to improve investment procedures. In the meeting, SpaceX expressed their plans to invest $1.5 billion in Vietnam in the near future.
Party General Secretary and State President To Lâm discussed with founder and chairman of Pacifico Energy Vietnam's commitment to protect the environment and strive for net zero emissions by 2050. He urged the company to accelerate its project in Vietnam, emphasizing that the country will create a conducive environment for U.S. investors, including Pacifico, to conduct sustainable businesses.
While meeting with the Vice President of Government Relations and Public Policy at Google, Party General Secretary and State President To Lâm stressed that Google's continued investment in Vietnam underscores the country's growing importance at a global level. He encouraged Google to advocate for its suppliers to invest in Vietnam and to assist Vietnam companies in joining supply chains. He praised Google's proposal for collaboration in AI training and also highlighted the importance of cooperation in cybersecurity, as this is a critical area in the fourth industrial revolution.
General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam's Central Committee and State President To Lâm, his spouse, and a high-ranking delegation arrived at Jose Marti International Airport in Havana on the evening of September the 25th local time, commencing a state visit to Cuba. The Vietnamese leader and his entourage were greeted at the airport by Politburo members Roberto Morales Ojeda, permanent member of the Secretariat of the PCC Central Committee, and Alvaro Lopez Miera, Minister of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Cuba. Also present were Lazaro Alberto Alvarez Casas, Minister of the Interior, and Emilio Lozada Garcia, head of the Foreign Affairs Department of the PCC Central Committee, along with Cuban Ambassador to Vietnam Orlando Nicolas Hernandez Guillen, among others. That is the top leader's first visit to Cuba in his capacity as Party General Secretary and State President. Cuba is also one of the first countries the Vietnamese top leader has visited. The visit serves as evidence of the traditional solidarity and special friendship between Vietnam and Cuba. As of September the 26th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended the announcement conference of Binh Duong Province's master plan for the 2021 to 2030 period, with a vision extending to 2050. Former State President Nguyễn Minh Chiết also participated in the event.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính praised Binh Duong Province for its impressive achievements over the past 30 years, highlighting its role as a dynamic and innovative force in the southern key economic region and nationwide. He emphasized Binh Duong's crucial role in ensuring rapid, sustainable, and coordinated development at the local, regional, and national levels. To ensure the plan benefits residents, he requested Binh Duong mobilize resources and implement the plan methodically and efficiently. Furthermore, he encouraged collaboration with authorities to resolve institutional challenges and enhance decentralization, emphasizing the need for streamlined administrative procedures to combat corruption and inefficiency.
Binh Duong Province should take the lead in three key areas. First, strengthen connections with regional, national, and international economies, particularly through green transport and digital integration with Cambodia, the Central Highlands, the Mekong Delta, and globally via Long Thanh Airport and Cái Mép Port. Second, proactively develop a digital economy, green economy, circular economy, sharing economy, and maritime economy, focusing on digitization and sustainability for rapid growth. Third, pioneer the establishment of new generation industrial zones that are green, digital, high-tech, and smart, emphasizing innovation and high-quality workforce development.
As Binh Duong awarded investment decisions and certificates for 8 projects totaling $1.8 billion, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính praised the province for its proactive investment promotion efforts. He also urged companies and investors to develop long-term, sustainable business strategies in Vietnam. The government is enhancing institutional frameworks and policies to improve state management efficiency while creating a conducive environment for growth. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính also visited the Electric Energy Show 2024. The exhibitions showcase sustainable energy solutions, efficient energy management, and distribution systems, along with smart automation technologies designed to optimize production and management processes.
Earlier on the same day, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính inspected the Ho Chi Minh City Thủ Dầu Một Trơn Thành Expressway. The 52-kilometer section through Binh Duong is under a public-private partnership, marking the first use of digital technology in Vietnam from the planning stage to optimize design, construction, and management. Binh Duong is currently handling land compensation and investor selection to start construction this year. The Prime Minister emphasized the strategic importance of the expressway connecting the Central Highlands, the southeastern region, Long Thanh Airport, and key seaports. He also requested proper intersections promote industrial and urban growth and suggested looking at an extension to Tây Ninh for better connectivity. Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam's Central Committee and Chairman of its Commission for Information and Education, Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, had a meeting with the Communist Party of USA in New York as part of his participation in the 79th session of the UN General Assembly, UNGA 79. He expressed his deep gratitude for the support from it and the American people towards Vietnam during the country's fight for national independence and reunification, seeking justice for Agent Orange victims, and fostering the normalization and growth of Vietnam-U.S. relations. Both sides agreed to strengthen cooperation and promote exchanges in youth education, making contributions to peace, friendship, and the spread of progressive values of the mankind. General Phan Văn Giang, Minister of National Defense, and Senior Lieutenant General Lương Tam Quang, Minister of Public Security, recently met with Jean-Pierre Lacroix, the UN Under-Secretary General for Peace Operations. During the meeting, the Under-Secretary General praised Vietnam's active and effective participation in UN peacekeeping missions, highlighting Vietnamese military and police personnel professionalism, competency, and responsibility. The ministers reaffirmed Vietnam's commitment in supporting the UN in maintaining regional and global peace and security. They also expressed the need for UN support in Vietnam's political commitments and determination in peacekeeping operations. Coming up next on VTV News, Ho Chi Minh City leads the country in state budget collection. And later on, Vietnamese history in pictures introduced to public. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now on to other important updates. In the first 8 months of the year, Ho Chi Minh City's state budget collection is estimated at nearly $14 billion, reaching more than 71% of the estimate and increasing by more than 15% year on year. Ho Chi Minh City is currently the leading locality in the country in state budget collection.
In the first 8 months of the year, Ho Chi Minh City's domestic state budget collection is estimated at $10 billion, up 24% over the same period last year. This result is thanks to the good revenue from the production and business sector.
Revenues from real estate, trade, banking, and logistics all recorded growth in revenue.
Revenue from import and export activities is estimated at $3 billion, thanks to the presence of high trade turnover items. The city's customs has also implemented solutions to facilitate trade and prevent tax losses.
The City Customs Department also creates maximum convenience for businesses to clear customs quickly. Secondly, it also applies procedures such as determining value and classifying goods to prevent tax losses. It also applies maximum digitization in operations.
The end of the year is a very good opportunity for the city to reach the finish line and achieve an even higher budget revenue rate. The second is the increase of import and export as well as the finish line of public investment projects.
According to experts, the state budget revenue collected by the city's tax department and customs department is very important. not only helping the city complete its state budget collection task, but also contributing greatly to the overall growth of the whole country.
The central region has not yet entered the peak of the flood season, but after recent heavy rain, landslides have occurred in many places. In Guangdong province, many villages are currently being evacuated after discovering cracks in high hills with the risk of landslides.
A hill hundreds of meters high is flowing down to Langlung village, Chatap commune, threatening 26 households with nearly 100 people. As the most prosperous village in Chatap commune, many households had to dismantle their solid houses and urgently relocate according to the request of the local authorities. After this class, teachers and students had to evacuate to another temporary school.
Some households have suffered landslides. I'm very worried about the safety of the students.
The weather in Nam Chami district has been sunny for the past 2 days, but landslides continue to occur. The leader has dispatched forces to assist people in evacuating and building temporary houses. Nam Chami district has built many temporary houses and food storage areas.
There will be a very detailed plan for the relocation of people. The province will allocate a budget to urgently carry out this work as soon as possible.
According to preliminary statistics, in 9 mountainous districts of Guangdong province, there are hundreds of landslide points threatening thousands of households. The center of Nam Chami district is also within the very high landslide range.
Guangdong province has declared a state of emergency in response to landslides in Area 7, Zone 5 of Gwanghang Ward, Kampha City in the aftermath of Typhoon Yagi. On September the 11th, local authorities had already evacuated 136 households, comprising nearly 400 residents from the hazardous area, to pre-arrange safe locations. The authorities emphasized the need to continue implementing safety measures and providing support for residents regarding housing, daily life, and education. They also requested close collaboration with specialized units to survey the landslide areas, accurately assess soil fissures, and develop safe remediation plans for the affected regions. After 17 years of conceptualizing and compiling content and images, a special book titled Vietnamese History in Pictures was officially launched on September the 26th in Hanoi. The event saw the participation of many historians, cultural researchers, and a large number of readers. With nearly 2,000 illustrations, photos, and maps, the book offers readers easier access to the nation's glorious historical periods.
This is the first time a visual book on Vietnamese history has been published. The book provides a comprehensive portrait of the process of building and defending the nation, spanning from the earliest ancient inhabitants on this land to the formation of the modern state today.
In terms of content, the book covers Vietnamese history in a broad but quite comprehensive manner, addressing events and transformations in Vietnam's history over hundreds of thousands of years. Its presentation is also very innovative, featuring not only commentary but also 2,000 photographs of statues, artifacts, as well as maps and charts illustrating Vietnam's history.
The book's creators spent 17 years planning, compiling content, and gathering images. The authors hope that Vietnamese history in pictures will inspire a passion for learning about the nation's history among a wide readership, especially younger readers. They also hope it will provide additional resources and images for history teachers' lessons and lectures.
This book poses a challenge to the 4.0 era, a time when the reading culture is declining and fiercely competing with social media. This book encourages readers to both view and read. Opening it at any page allows for immediate reading, and readers can stop and delve deeper wherever they like.
The book's rich and diverse collection of visual materials, corresponding to each historical period, was sourced from museums both domestically and internationally, as well as from private collections.
Some of the images were collected from foreign museums in countries like the UK, France, Germany, and Singapore. These are artifacts that are not easily accessible to Vietnamese people in the country. For example, the statue of the god Shiva from the Kampa culture in central Vietnam, which is currently on display at the Guimet Museum in France. In this book, We have included several dozen images of such artifacts.
The book, which is 659 pages long and divided into 14 main sections, was compiled based on information from ancient historical texts and some modern research works. The launch of the book, Vietnamese History in Pictures, coincides with the 70th anniversary of the liberation of the capital on October 10th and the 72nd anniversary of the traditional day of the Vietnamese publishing, printing, and book distribution industry.
The third VietBuild Hanoi International Exhibition themed interior and exterior decoration, architecture, real estates, and construction materials is being held at the National Exhibition Center for Architecture, Planning, and Construction. Featuring nearly 1,200 booths from domestic and international enterprises, the exhibition showcases a wide range of innovative and eco-friendly products. Over 5 days, the event includes multiple cooperation programs to foster trade, connect businesses, and engage with local and international stakeholders. The exhibition aims to support business recovery, promote digital trade, and ensure market stability and growth in line with government policies for 2024. It also provides an ideal opportunity for attendees to explore new trends and select materials for construction and home decoration projects. The event will run until September the 29th. Coming up next on VTV News, Middle East at risk of a full-scale war. And later on, Iraqi militant group claims drone attack on Israel's port city. Now moving on to our world news, the Middle East is closer than ever to a full-scale war. Bombs continue to fall not only in the Gaza Strip, but also in southern Lebanon. Israel and its regional rivals show no signs of de-escalation. More in the conflict in the following.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned on Tuesday that his country would not stop military operations against Hezbollah forces in Lebanon until northern Israelis can safely return home.
We are dealing blows that Hezbollah never imagined. We are going all out to attack this force.
More than 2,000 Hezbollah targets in Lebanon have been hit by the Israeli military in the past 3 days. Israel is also preparing for a possible ground attack on Lebanon. Meanwhile, Iran, a close ally of Lebanon, has warned that it will not stand idly by in the event of war in Lebanon.
Iran has already shown tremendous patience and restraint for the sake of regional peace and stability. Iran firmly upholds its inherent right to defend its vital interests. And finally, Iran will not remain indifferent.
Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts are also being urgently promoted to prevent an escalation of the war. France and the United States on Tuesday proposed a 21-day ceasefire in Lebanon to facilitate negotiations. So far, there is no guarantee that this proposal will be accepted by all parties soon.
An Iraqi Shiite militia claimed responsibility for a drone attack on a key site in the southern Israeli port city of Eilat on Tuesday. The group said the attack was carried out in solidarity with the Palestinian and Lebanese people and vowed to continue attacking Israeli targets. However, it did not provide further details on the areas affected by its attacks or the number of casualties. Meanwhile, Israeli military spokesman Daniel Hagari said sirens were activated in Eilat after detecting 2 drones. An Israeli Navy ship intercepted one of the drones while the other crashed in the Eilat port area. According to preliminary statistics, 2 people were slightly injured in the incident. Many parts of the world are now suffering from storm damage and flooding. Scientists warn that these type of extreme weather events affecting countries all over the world may become increasingly common as the climate crisis accelerates, putting pressure on governments to act.
With winds of up to 251 kilometers per hour, Hurricane Helene could strengthen to a Category 4 on the 5-level hurricane scale when it hits Florida, USA on Wednesday. Hurricane Helene continues to strengthen as it moves north towards the coast of Florida. It is forecast to develop into one of the strongest storms in the Gulf of Mexico in the past century, with winds that could stretch from Indianapolis to Washington, D.C. Currently, 5 states in the U.S., Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, have declared a state of emergency due to the storm.
Hurricane John weakened after making landfall in the Mexican state of Guerrero, but quickly strengthened as it headed back out into the Pacific. It is expected to make a second landfall in Mexico today. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has warned of the risk of flash floods and landslides in 4 Mexican states along the Pacific coast.
German authorities have issued the highest flood warning on a 4-tier scale for a stretch of river south of Frankfurt an der Oder, between the German and Polish borders. The warning was issued due to increased water flows along the Oder from Central Europe, which was hardest hit by last week's major flooding. Brandenburg is continuing to prepare flood protection measures and plans to evacuate affected areas if necessary.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast for Vietnam and other locations in the world. And that is all that we have this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.